Everybody wants those strong, defined, healthy shoulders, and rightfully so, but one of my favorite lines is you have to earn the right to overhead press, which means we also need to be working on different strategies like flexibility, stability, and mobility as well, because you can't really have a strong and healthy and stable joint without working on all of these strategies together. And a lot of the times people go ahead and perform any type of overhead pressing movement and they can't even get their arms up over their head. And what happens when you continue to do so, regardless of the size of the weight, is that you end to do this, where you end up hyperextending and causing some discomfort in your low back. And what also happens up in the front is that you end up with an open scissor position where the rib cage flares open and the hips actually tip forward. So what I'm going to show you is a way that you can self-assess yourself to see if you are tight in the lats. So we're going to work on that flexibility strategy first. And the lats are simply the big muscles underneath the armpits known as the wings. A lot of the times these are so overdeveloped from pull-ups or lat pull-downs, or we're just tight and restricted in that area. So first things first is grab a dowel rod or a PVC pipe. I just used the stick of a broom. And you're going to place it against the low back, kind of step your feet out a little bit against or away from the floor. And when you hold the stick against your back, you're going to point your arms, both of them, straight out in front of you, lock the elbows out, thumbs facing straight up. And when you reach way back, you should be able to tap your thumbs against the wall. If you can't do that and you extend your back, hopefully you saw that the stick actually moved, it dropped down. Sometimes it'll even teeter-totter or tip from one side to the other. That means you are tight and restricted in the lats, and an easy way to help loosen that up rather quickly is some self-myofascial release, and then doing like an active range of motion or flexibility exercise that I'll show you here in a second. So grab your foam roller, lay it out, make sure it's perpendicular to your lats. You're going to find them pretty much right away because they are a big meaty muscle group. And with your arms stretched out, you're just going to roll back and forth rather slowly, up and down through the whole length there. You want to spend about 30 to 60 seconds there, and if you find what's considered to be a hot spot, which is typically a tender point, you can also rock and roll from side to side like so. Now the lats originate at the tailbone and go all the way up to the humerus or your upper arm bone. So you may also want to spend a few seconds at least rolling the lower portion of the lats there and there. Okay, so no more than about a minute there. And then what you're going to do is save your knees with one of these guys, place it on the floor. Knees get placed on the floor. You're going to grab a underhand grip on the dowel rod again. Place your elbows on a bench, and we're just going to do a few rock backs. So I'm just going to push my butt back to my heels, and automatically right there I feel a great stretch in the lats. I'm going to pounce forward after a split second hold and repeat that great exercise or mobility drill again there. Now, you'll probably find that you can self-assess afterwards as well and see a great amount of improvement there, but you just want to spend about, you want to do about 10 or so reps with that mobility drill. So give that self-assessment a try before you do your overhead press.